Valerie. Welcome to 1 o'clock drawing class with me. Today we're going to do a lighthouse. It's Monday. This is the hardest thing I have to do. Monday, April 9th?
6th.
2020, and I'm here in Orono, Maine. Alright, so today we're going to do a lighthouse, and people get nervous about the lighthouse because, well, it looks simple. And then when you sit down to do it, then people will get nervous because there's a lot of straight lines. People are always talking about, I can't draw a straight line, I can't draw a straight line. And most of the time it doesn't really matter. Here, the thing about it is if you have all perfectly straight lines and one that isn't, it's going to be really obvious. But if everything's just a little bit loose and wacky, it's going to be great. I'm going to remind you to check. We'll hold up our papers and make sure that your things look right before you carry on and start making darker colors, okay? I'm going to try to remember to do the color one here and the black and white one down here. And, okay, so what we're going to start, the thing you have to do is not make your lighthouse, not make it too big and run out of room for the top, because everybody wants to put a little thing on the cap. And you don't want to run out of room. And it's easy to run out of room. Mm-hmm. It also, It also is easier to get your line straighter if you work a little bit smaller. Okay? I don't think it's going to be a problem for anybody. All right. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to mark where the grass is. And we'll call this pretty much straight. And then if you want to drop it down a little bit on the side, that's great. But don't go up very far. You know. Don't have too little, or it looks like it's not enough land to kind of hold your thing up. So go up a little bit more, go across, and then maybe dig down a little bit. I've got my gray. I keep forgetting to say this, but if you're using a pencil, great. Draw lightly. You'll be able to erase things, and that's fun. Even if you're using charcoal, just draw lightly, and we'll smudge it in, or we'll erase it. If you're using colors, use something lighter. Gray makes sense in a picture like this because this is the color I'm going to use as my shadow, so it's a nice color with a lot of white. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is we're not thinking about any of this. We're only thinking about this little piece right here of this house, okay? So it's a little square, maybe rectangle right here.
You just make your lines darker if you can.
All right, I'll make that darker. Okay, so I'm going to draw this line right here. You know, we have plenty of room to fit. We can always get the lighthouse over here further. So this could be, but you just don't want too tall. So here's what I'm going to do with that. And then I'm going to go right across. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do this part. I'm going to do it down here. I'm going to go up a couple of inches. I'm going to go across. And then I'm going to dip down a little bit. Oh, that's maybe a little less than I want. I'll go up and add a little bit more. I don't want to go too low. Okay. That's kind of a big line, but that's good. All right. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to make myself a line like this. Again, you go as lightly as you can. I'm going to go a little darker so you can see it, because that's sort of the point, right? Okay, this piece is a little more square. This is a little bit more rectangle. If you get it that way, great. If you don't, that's all right. We're going to do the line that's right here. So this is not going to be too far away. You're going to make a line like this. Okay? Is that good? Is Matthias going to watch today?
He's on.
Hi. Awesome. Is he going to get his mom and his sister? Or sister's working. Actually,
They're all working.
That's too bad. People who have to work. But they can watch it later on my Facebook page or on YouTube under Valerie. Free
art classes.
Free drawing class. Valerie Wallace Fine Arts playlist, but you'll find my videos, but to get the whole playlist together, sometimes it's tricky. I'm not sure. I have a link on my page, though. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to do this much of the lighthouse, just this piece. And this piece is about the same size. Yeah, let's go across the roof, so that'll give you we'll go right here. You can go a little bit above the peak if you want, or just right across. All right, and we're going to measure whatever you've done from the ground to the top of the roof here. That's about how tall you want to go here with your lighthouse. Okay, so that's about here. And this line, we'll call this, for the most part, you can make these lines going vertically parallel. In reality, even maybe structurally, they might tilt in just a tiny bit. But if you don't get them to tilt in, that's okay. But I'm taking this line right out of the peak of my little roof of my little house here, and I'm going to put a line like this. Okay, about that high. I want to have plenty of room for all this jazz at the top here, so don't go too high. All right. So I'll do the same thing here. Make a little line right there, and then I'm going to measure, and that's how tall I want to go, and I'm going to go pretty much straight right up. This could be well, let's do the other side, and then we'll hold them up, and we'll make sure that we're, you're happy with the way your lighthouse is going. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The top of this, we're going to add this black part on later, so just don't think too much about it right now. But the top here, where the red one meets the black, has a little bit of a curve to it. Actually, let's do, wait a minute. It does have a curve to it, but let's do this line down here first. All right, so I would say, this is about how wide? Let's see, this is about as wide as that part of the roof. That doesn't make sense, though. I don't know what you can compare it to. I guess you'll just have to eye it up. But maybe look at where this edge of the house is and see that there's a pretty good portion of the lighthouse that sticks out over this way. So you don't want to be this close to it. That would be a pretty skinny lighthouse. So look at this. You'll just have to eye it up. Obviously, you are aesthetically inclined, even if you don't think so, because you wouldn't be watching otherwise, right?
Yes.
You might think of it in other ways rather than drawing lighthouses, but I bet you already know that you can see what looks good and what doesn't. How does that look? Does mine look even?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so after you do this line, hold your paper right up in front of you, and then you will be able to see if things are on track, okay? That's the best way to do it. And if it isn't, if you've got a pencil, you can just erase it. If you've got a little charcoal, you can erase it a little bit, or just, say I need a little bit straighter here. Just draw it where it will be. Or forever you will look and be like, oh, I just really don't like how my lighthouse is. It's lopsided. We'll fix it. And this is how I figure. Say somebody looks at your picture and says, well, it's really good, but I see that you have a line where you didn't do it right the first time. I mean, who says that? People that you don't need to listen to, that might be but nobody says that. You're not supposed to be perfect. And the important thing is that you correct it. You get credit for looking and putting a little more effort in and fixing it rather than just being like, I don't care. And if all of your lines are wacky, like I said, then you definitely don't care, and that's who you are, and just go with it, okay?
Okay.
You never have to worry about being perfect.
Nope.
Okay, so am I looking okay?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so on the top, like I said, you want a rainbow. Not a big rainbow, but a low rainbow, all right? And like I said, we're not going to do all the black part yet. Because if you're doing it, we want to do the sky and things like that first. While you still have your gray, I want you to add in a little bit with the shadows. So we're putting a little line of gray right under the roof here. Okay, and that's the shadow of from the eaves of the roof. Because it's a bright, beautiful, sunny day down on the coast of Maine at the West Quoddy Head Lighthouse. Okay. West Quoddy Head? Yeah, I think so. Okay, it's pretty famous because it has it's beautiful, has these nice stripes. The other place we want, if we're having a shadow like this, we're also having one right here. Because this little piece of the house kind of sticks out. Alright, so I'll do that down here too. So I don't want to go too heavy because it's a shadow and it's on white. But you'd be surprised. You start looking at shadows when you're out in a beautiful sunny day and you will be surprised how dark they are. I think you will. And you might also be surprised what color they are. We always talk about it in the wintertime with snow, is that, you know, right now it's a sunny day. If there was snow outside, the shadows of the trees would be purple. It's really pretty cool. Okay, that's good. We're good with that. We do, if this is where, that means the sun's coming from over here on the right. So that means that our lighthouse is going to have a little shadow too. So what you're going to do with that is take a little piece right here and just go ahead and fill the whole thing in, because when we put the red on, we'll just add the red right on top and it won't matter. But this will give you the shadow for rather than do each one separately. And we'll hold off, we'll do the sky and the grass before we do the stripes, the red part, okay? Is that all right with you, Daphne?
That's good with me.
Daphne says okay. She's my faithful assistant here.
Yep.
She's a junior at LaSalle University in Massachusetts.
She's
And
from home
of course, now she's home with me. Yay.
Yay.
No offense to my other daughters.
Well.
I wish they were here too. But, okay.
What
The
about
next-
your son?
Oh yeah, my son. He's around. He's not here though.
No, thank God.
Oh, shh. Don't say that. Okay. Let's do the sky. We'll work our way towards the front. I am, this time, going to use a little bit darker blue. Just, it's sort of a part of how this piece is put together that the blue is a little brighter. I love to use this sunny cerulean blue. I think that's what this is, but I'm going to use the darker one. But what's going to happen is that it's going to be darker than I want. It's a little bit closer to twilight than it is to a sunny, beautiful sky. So what I have to do is put this on here, and then I'm going to use white to soften it up and lighten it. Okay? If you don't, if you can get a blue that's
Cooler.
a little bit lighter than that. Yeah, it's definitely a cool blue. Okay? This is a warm blue.
Hold them together.
All right? That means we're getting a little closer to, the one on the right is a little bit closer to yellow, and the one on the other side, the left side, is, well, it's closer to purple, but it's really pretty true blue, I would say. Primary blue. Okay.
Okay.
Let's do it. So, the first one I want to do is this big cloud that goes behind the lighthouse. This is just such a simple way to show space because we've overlapped, and it also, what I'm always trying to do is color in the least amount of blue as possible. All right, because it's just tiring and boring. All right, so I'm going to add myself a little cloud that goes out like this, and then I'm going to put a little cloud that goes out like that. And now my lighthouse stands up in the sky. This one is huge, nice big one that goes off the top. Ooh.
What?
Well,
You need to put your top in.
I just realized that. Yeah. Should I do that first?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Wait a minute. Everybody grab your, I'm going to use the gray again. And you're going to use your pencil or your light color, whatever you're using. We're not going to color it in, and we're not going to do all the little railing and stuff, but I think we should put the base of this on, this part on here, okay? You don't need this little lip bit that's there. So we'll have a piece that comes up. This is kind of like a square. So take two short lines like this, okay? And this time, if you can, sometimes start in the middle, make a little dot right in the middle, just a little bit higher than those other two posts, and round down to one and down to the other, and that way they'll come out evenly. Doesn't have to be a lot. And again, we're going to color it black, so if you need to shape it a little bit different, you have to make it a little bigger, but you can do that, okay? I'm going to do that down here too. So not too tall, sort of a square sized. All right? And then what I want you to do is to put a little, not very big, but a little like square like that right in the top. That's going to be where the light is. And it's kind of see-through, but we're not going to make it too see-through. And then you're going to go from that down a little bit on both sides. Okay? How's that? Oh, that's not very tall. The other one's taller.
That's alright.
Yeah, that's alright. It's the way it is. Oh, you know what? I'll make that my railing. So ultimately, I'm gonna go a little taller.
Smart.
All right. So make that. Maybe you should stop listening to me, because maybe I'm gonna lead you astray. I'm getting a little lopsided too. Okay. And then you have like a little triangle, little cap on top. Okay. We'll leave that for now. Remember that you're gonna make that black, so you can shape it a little differently when you go to do it. So what I realized, I need to go a little bit taller on my lamp here. I'm gonna round the bottom part, make a little spot in the middle, and then just kind of bring that out to the sides. Okay? We'll go with that for now. All right. So sorry about that. I did practice like a few times. And I've painted this, I don't know how many times, but when you paint it, it's a little bit different. You just paint everything over the sky. So I'm going to go from here up and here over like this. Oh, while I'm down here too, I'm going to draw in a line right about here. That's going to be my water. I'm just going to fill this in because I'm going to have my water the same color as my sky because it's reflecting. Before I do the sky, I'm going to put in the little bit of, for the even darker blue, this little bit of land that's on the other side. You want to keep this small. The bottom of it is going to be a nice horizontal line. That means flat. And then you can kind of thicken that up a little bit. All right, so like this. And then you can start coloring in. And remember, you're not coloring the clouds in, you're coloring the sky in. And if you want to see that again, I'm going to do it down here. I'm going to draw a line across for the water. I'm just going to spread this in here. There. I'm going to go keep my land very, very small. That makes it look like it's far away across the water. You don't really have to reflect this because it's so far away that you wouldn't see it. All right. I did my cloud that comes out like this and over like this. And one that comes like this and up around. And then this one actually has two small ones. So there's sort of one that comes off the page here, and one that goes even smaller. They get smaller as they go towards the horizon line, which is what we did. So here I'll have a little one here. And it's also, the sky is a little lighter as you get down to the horizon line, meaning down to near the water. You could go a little lighter there if you felt like it. All right. Okay, so I'm going to color this in. You don't have to color in this spot here because that's going to be black. And like I said, you're going to see that it's a little too dark, like this. So some white is going to help out. If you want to make it a little more of a stormy sky, you know, you could put the gray instead, or gray clouds. Vary that up. If you want to make it a sunset, you could make the sky pinkish or purplish or light blue or something like that, and then you can make your clouds pink or purple or peach colored or a combination. You can do whatever you want to with it because it's your picture and it's fun. And maybe to hang in a nice frame and give to somebody that loves the ocean. Right?
Yes.
My husband painted a really nice one of this, and it's one of my favorites. And I have that in a frame. I love it. Love it. All right, so the white, you can see how the white is going to take the edge off of how heavy that dark blue is. All right. So if you haven't already realized, I've been doing this. Well, I've said before, I started when my youngest went to kindergarten, and that was about 15 years ago. So I've been teaching like this and in different schools, but this is the first time I've really done them online. Thought about it, but I guess now is just the right time. I usually teach a lot of painting, but I'm not sure if people have paints, but I'm sort of thinking I'm going to do a painting lesson. And if you have paints, you paint. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. If you want to do it with something else, you'll still be able to do that. But if you want to learn a little bit about mixing colors, I might do that. How's that? Is that good?
Yeah, I like it.
All right.
It's good.
I'll do a little down here. Okay. We'll get this background in, and then we do all the fun parts. With what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to put the black on here, and then I'm going to take an eraser and sort of soften that up and get rid of the lines. Anybody knows how we can listen to music without getting muted by Facebook?
We need non-copyrighted music.
Well, we did that one time. Veronica played some, but you know, it wasn't cool. Yeah, it wasn't great. Maybe somebody out there has some original music that they want
That's a
me
good
to
idea.
play. Like Nathan Maneker or something like that.
Jacob Coughlin.
Jacob Coughlin's.
You can play his beats.
Yeah, say it in a really cool way. Like lay down some fresh beats.
Yeah. That's cool.
A cool way like that. Jacob Coughlan, you want to lay down some fresh beats behind this fresh drawing class? You never know.
Matthias would like a painting lesson.
He would like a painting lesson. What does he want to paint?
I don't know.
Does he know? We're gonna actually. I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna do that Van Gogh. I think.
Oh yeah.
That's simple.
Good.
It's a little field with like a beautiful sunny sky, and if you could pretty much any colors you use. Very simple. Just stripes of different parts of the landscape, and it's beautiful and it's easy, and it's also very flexible as to how your colors come out. So we're going to do that. I just need to get a little, maybe this weekend, because I know some of the people that used to paint with me, they work during the week. Well, of course, it doesn't matter. You can watch it anytime you want. Christina, you can watch it anytime you want. You don't have to watch it at 1 o'clock. You guys are on the beach. It's because they have their own private beach. Okay. Are we good? Oh, grass. Let's do grass. I'm going to use this awesome puke green again, but I'm also going to use a little light green. I'm going to use a little both because it's going to make it super sunny. All right. So I almost did it down here. No way. All right. If you want it to look like the grass is growing over the edge of your little house, what you do is you just go along the edge and you make little, I don't know, can you see this? Does that show? Well, anyway, you just make little lines that go up like that, and it will look like...
Yeah, you can see it.
Like that. Isn't that neat? That's all I gotta do.
So cool.
We could make it a little bit like this, and then it would be a little bit like a shadow of the building on the grass. I'll put my lighter one over here. What? No?
I'm thinking I need to do a little layering.
Yeah, maybe I have to put a little. Let's do a little.
not feeling those two
I like
together.
it like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the two of them together, but that lime green, I don't know. I did order some Van Gogh, I don't know if I'm saying that right, pastels, like this. Oh no, that's a De La Rowney. Yeah, like this. I found a set of them at Dick Blick. I think it's 20 something colors. Normally $44, $22.
Ooh, that's a
So
deal.
I got mine. I didn't take more than one, although I was tempted. Dick Blick, pastels, Van Gogh. Look for them and grab those. Grab that because these are not super expensive. Obviously, I mean that's a deal, but they're nicer. They're a little nicer than the Pentels, and they're definitely nicer than those. Those are drying out too. I think after a while they get a little dry. All right. Oh, down here, get a little bit of beach down here, and then we're gonna pull this guy together. Right? Is that it?
Yeah. I get some stripes on that.
Oh! Almost dropped it. All right. We gotta put the stripes on. Let's do the black. Well, no, let's do the red. We'll do the red, then we'll do the black. Okay? First thing we're going to do with our red, or whatever you want. Whatever you want for stripes, whatever you want for the roof. Alright, so I'm going to put this on my... I almost did the hair again. We're going to put this here, and I'm going to color right over my gray line. It's not like a coloring book outline. It's just a sketch. Because, you know, people think you got to draw it all out with a pencil first, but, I mean, if you're going to make pencil, but I found that, maybe not with this, but this will probably just show through, that's the problem, everywhere, but we also probably want a little bit of red right here, that if I had somebody draw it out with a pencil before they paint, is that people's ability to draw with a pencil, because you've probably been using a pencil since you were 3 or 4, is a lot better than how you can paint. And so then you have this perfect, great little drawing with all these details, and you go to paint it, and it's like, doesn't really work. So you might as well draw with your paintbrush, and then everything has that same, you know, you don't have to, everything doesn't have to look like it was drawn all out perfectly. The point of painting is to smoosh stuff around, right? Okay. All right, so with the stripes, as they go up, they would have a little bit of a curve, or as they came down, they would flatten out. I always tend to make a very few stripes, which does happen. There's some lighthouses that have like 4 stripes on them. That's fine. The more you make, it's a little more obvious if you get them off. So I wouldn't make too skinny or too many of them. I'm going to do this. I'm going to start with the one that lines up with the roof. Okay, and I'm going to go right over this gray, and I'm going to draw a line right here. And I am going to go. Usually I hardly make any, and then I'm like, oh, I guess I probably should have. So I'm just going to make red stripes, and then I'm going to fill in the rectangles, you know, every other rectangle. All right? And I'm going to make them roughly the same size. Red, oh, okay. All right. And then when I go to do the one up here, maybe this one I'm going to still go straight. And maybe this one I'm going to curve just a little bit. And maybe this a little bit more. These would also get a little tiny bit closer together if you're really thinking about it, if that sort of thing really matters to you. All right. If you just stripe them on there too, it's fine. And then what I'll do, actually, I want this one to be white because I want that green grass to show up. So I'm going to start with the one up. Alright, so I'm going to color, I'll color these in a second, but I'll do it again down with the black and white so you can, so I'm going to be coloring this one, this one, this one, this one. Okay, I'll do the striping down here again, in case you're just catching up. So and I had the roof here. Okay, so I'm going to take the top of the roof, I'm going to go straight across from there. And then I'm going to go down. Stripe them about the same. Oh yeah. This one definitely needs the weed whacker at it. It's got like a feel around the base. But it's not essential. It's not essential work. Weed whacking. Okay. And then from there, I'll go up maybe 1, maybe 2, and then I'll curve just a little bit. And a little bit. So if you wind up at the top, you better have one kind of skinnier one than one really huge one. Alright, so color those in. We'll do that, and then we'll grab the black and we'll put on a few details, and we'll have a beautiful landscape. Remember on the... Actually, I guess I made that kind of dark on the outside with the gray. Oh well. You're coloring over the gray line out here. There we go. We've got some fun ideas coming up. Tomorrow, I'm going to show you what we're going to do tomorrow. Actually, I'm going to show it to you right now, and then I can tell you this is what we're going to do tomorrow. The Savannah. By request, I have requested some African animals, or Asian animals. African? I think African. I know there's Asian elephants. With this one, when we do this, just while you're drawing, if you're thinking about other things, then don't listen. But you're going to do the background. So say you have time and you want to do a watercolor on a piece of paper and let it dry, then you can just come in and do the black draw on top. I'm not going to do that, but that would be great. Or if you have paint, you want to paint out. I mean, any kind of shades of orange and yellow would be great. I mean, there is the sun in there, but if you don't get that, don't worry about it. All right, I did that. I need to do this one. Let's see, this. When I do the black and white, I want to make sure that I'm a little darker on the little shadowy bit here. Stephanie, you're tired today.
I know.
You've been yawning a lot.
I know.
You're not extremely tired, though, are you?
No.
Okay. Black. Okay. Are we ready to do the last bit, Daphne, do you think?
Yes.
Everybody's ready?
Yeah.
While you've got your red, if you have drawn your little cap here, while you have it in your hand, if you want, you can put that right on there. Okay? Alright, I'm going to get a black and 2 blacks. Well, I'm going to have a charcoal black and a black. Okay, let's start easy. What I want you to do is to put a little trim around the roof here. That just helps to make it stand out. So we try to do this pretty carefully if you can. Alright, so just right under the eaves there. I don't know that part. The window doesn't really have an outline to it, but I think it will work better if we do. You could put window over here too. What I would do are the 2 vertical lines like that first, then, and try to get those as even as you can, then do the bottom, and that's sort of the outside of the window, and then to have it look like it has a little sash, you put 2 little black squares like that with a little white space between. It'll look a little bit like that. It's a little lopsided. Okay? guess I have that. Well, I'm very excited that I have have people reaching out that I've never met that are liking my show. That's pretty exciting. It doesn't sound like I'm excited, but I am really, really excited. Just try not to cry about it. Okay, let's do this part up here. Ooh, I'm a little lopsided. Let's see if I can straighten that out. So I've got this and this. It's going to be a little rectangle. Now, all right, we'll do that first. Let's do that. And we'll add that little base or skirt or whatever it is on it. Okay. I could just smell the ocean breezes. The salt in the air.
Wow.
Right? Okay. Again, you'd be a little bit darker on the left side. Okay. All right, to get this lip here, what you have to do, we did this with something else. What was it? Oh, the castle. Is you want this, it's going to look just like a top hat. You're going to have the base of that extend beyond the lighthouse just a little bit, and then you take the end of that and you bring that in towards it, and you color this little triangle. And the little triangle is the underside of this, because we're down low looking up there. All right, and then make sure this is thick enough. Okay, so see how it looks just like a little hat sitting on that? Isn't that neat?
Mm-hmm.
Super neat. Okay. So just extend it. Doesn't have to be very much, but if you get it bigger, that's cool too. It's fine. All right. All right. Make sure that's thick. All right. Let's do the roof of the little cap on the top there. And what you need with this are two posts that are holding it up. Okay, they don't have to be super skinny, but you need two posts that'll hold that up. I'm sure there's 4. You could put one right in the middle of your light if you want to, like that. So there'll be 3 of them. All right, up here made it a little bit confusing. I'm going to do this. All right. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to make 3 lines. All right, let me make sure it's pretty even. So, you know, where I'm denting in here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to straighten that out. This is a little off. The cap is a little off. I can add a little bit on this side. Right? Bring that up a little bit. I'm going to bring this down. So it's easy to add on, make things a little bit better. That's closer, right? Daphne?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, the last thing we need to do is put this railing on. I don't know why it's up there so high. Normally I put it down here. We'll do what it says or what it's doing or whatever.
I think it's so you can fix the light bulb.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the place to be. I just didn't, I don't know. All right, so take this piece, the top of the hat, and just extend that out a little bit more. All right, we're doing sort of the same thing we did below, and you have that little, this is the little walkway around the outside of the you know, the lighthouse. If you take the stairs, you go upstairs, and you want to be out nice and high, looking out. You have to have some railings. So the railings are not going to be That's why these are short posts, because they're only up to your waist. But you don't want to fall off. I think you can't not have one. All right, so these are shorter, but make sure you start by putting one out on each end, okay? And then you can kind of space them where you think they ought to go. Actually, this is what I'm going to use that gray line for. Let's round this railing out, and then you're going to put your stripes in there for the railing. That look okay?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else I'm going to need to say? Thanks for watching.
Do a close-up.
We're going to do a close-up, and I'm having so much fun seeing everybody's pictures. Don't be shy. All the different ways look great. This one looks a little stormy.
It's dark.
Good? I think I got everything.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for watching with me. I'm going to give you a little close-up. See who's there, who said hi. Oh, hey Marcy. Hey Matthias. No, I can't do. Can never spell your name right either. There's that. All right, see it up close. Megan's watching. Hey Kara. Hey Colin. Okay, and that's for tomorrow.
Say
Oh, wait a
bye.
minute, I was going to do ahoy matey.